Hi, BrenTech here, where tech is made simple. So Microsoft has rolled out our next optional bug fix C-release update to the release preview channel insiders on Windows 11. And our next update is KB5077241 and was made available to release preview channel insiders late yesterday in my region on the 17th of Feb. Now, if we head to the calendar, because it did roll out yesterday, I would suggest that more or less the same update will roll out to the general public starting next week, Tuesday the 24th. And if we don't see it that week, the last week of Feb, we'll get it in the first week of March 2026, so in a couple of days' time. Now, there are 10 new features which are all rolling out gradually. So when this does make it to general availability, you may or may not see these at the get-go. And then the fixes I'm going to mention as part of this video are also rolling out gradually. So everything rolling out gradually. Now the first is that the update introduces the new Emoji 16 release, which according to Microsoft introduces a small thoughtfully curated set of new emojis, one from each major category. And these new emojis now appear in the emoji panel. And that was in testing, it was pulled back in testing, and now this is a good indication that it's finally going to make it to the stable version of Windows 11. And then just to mention the next new feature, Microsoft says the first sign-in restore experience is now part of Windows Backup for organizations that brings this restore capability to more device types. This experience, Microsoft says, restores user settings and Microsoft Store apps automatically at first sign-in on Microsoft Entra hybrid joined devices, cloud PCs, and multi-user environments. So that's rolling out more for your organizations and enterprise environments. And then for the next, if we head into our settings system and we scroll down to where we get recovery. In regards to quick machine recovery, there's a new feature where Microsoft says QMR now turns on automatically for Windows professional devices that are not domain joined and not enrolled in enterprise endpoint management. So that's more, once again, for your enterprise environment. And then something else I've posted on previously. There is a new feature with a built-in network speed test, which is now going to be available from the taskbar. And Microsoft says you'll be able to open it from the Wi-Fi or cellular quick settings, or by right-clicking the network icon in the system tray. And the speed test, Microsoft says, opens in the default browser and measures Ethernet, Wi-Fi, and cellular connections. This feature helps check network performance and troubleshoot issues, and I actually think that's a nice move in the right direction when it makes its way to the stable. And for the next, if we just right-click on our taskbar and head over to taskbar behaviors and settings, Microsoft says there's an improvement when your taskbar is set to uncombined. So that would be never. If you have an app open with many windows, they will no longer all move as a set to the overflow area when there is not enough space on the taskbar. And instead, only the ones specifically within the set that don't have space. With this change, Microsoft says the overflow area should no longer appear to display with lots of available space. So if you are using that feature, that's maybe a step in the right direction. And then next up, there's a new feature for accounts where Microsoft says there's going to be a new entry point in the account menu on the start menu, which will now direct you to the benefits page. This update, it said, makes it easier to explore and manage the benefits associated with your Microsoft account. So that's, for whatever reason, listed as a new feature. And then there's another new feature I'm just going to mention. Windows now supports Microsoft Entra ID Group and Role SRD resolution. This update enables Windows to translate Enter Cloud Group and Role Security Identifiers, SIDs, to readable names. So once again, I think that's more for your corporate environment. And then next up, something I've posted on quite recently is there's a new feature for camera settings where you can now control pan and tilt for supported cameras in the Settings app. Microsoft says the controls appear under Settings, Bluetooth and Devices, Cameras in the Basic Settings section for your selected camera. So if that's something you are using, that will also be, I think, a nice move in the right direction. And then something I have posted on also previously is we are now getting a new built-in Sysmon, a system monitor, where Microsoft says Windows now brings Sysmon functionality natively to Windows. Sysmon functionality allows you to capture system events that can help with threat detection, and you can use custom configuration files to filter the events you want to monitor. The captured events are written on the Windows event log, enabling them to be used with security applications and a wide range of use cases. Just take note though, Microsoft says built-in Sysmon is disabled by default and must be enabled if you want to use it. And how you would do that is you would head into your control panel, you would head to Programs and Features, turn Windows Features on or off, and when it does roll out to the stable, you'll see an entry here in the S area of turn Windows Features on or off, and you toggle that on and then click OK, follow the prompts, and that would install Sysmon, which I actually think is a nice move in the right direction. Just take note though that if you have already installed Sysmon from the website, Microsoft says it must be uninstalled before enabling the built-in Sysmon. And then there's a new feature for widgets where for the widget settings, which currently look like this in the stable, Microsoft says widget settings will now open as a full page in the widgets app instead of opening in a dialog. Now, I'm not too sure I'm going to actually be in favor of a larger settings menu for the widgets, but nonetheless, that's listed as a new feature. Just to mention the next, and this is one I'm quite happy to see, you'll also now be able to set .webp image files as your desktop background in Settings Personalization Background, as well as when you right-click the image in File Explorer, and that's one I'm actually quite happy to see. And for Task Manager, there's an improvement with Microsoft saying that it's updated the icon for the search process in Task Manager to now show a magnifying glass. And then for storage settings, I'm just going to mention these two improvements. Microsoft says it's updated some of the dialogues in storage settings to have a more modern design, and it's improved performance of scanning for temporary files, which I think is a nice move because that can be quite a slow process depending on the size of your drive and how many temporary files you have. And then for Windows Update settings, Microsoft has improved the responsiveness of the settings page, which is nice to see. Now I'm just going to mention a couple of improvements and fixes rolling out. Microsoft says it's improved the login screen reliability. It's improved the reliability of sending larger files. It's improved the reliability of displaying the project pane after pressing the Windows key plus P. It's improved the Windows print service to ensure smoother performance and prevent slowdowns during high volume printing. That's also nice to see. And then for the File Explorer, Microsoft says it's added the extract all option to the File Explorer command bar when browsing non-zip archive folders. And there's a fix where holding Shift and clicking the File Explorer in the taskbar or middle clicking might open the current instance of File Explorer rather than another instance. So that's been fixed. And then Microsoft has improved reliability of displaying devices on the network page of File Explorer. And then for display, there are two improvements where Microsoft made display-related performance improvements to help reduce PC resume from sleep time on heavily loaded systems and other scenarios. And then for laptops, there's an improvement where laptops used with a docking station while the lid is closed, they've improved reliability of resuming from sleep when connecting to AC power without needing to open the laptop lid. And then the last, Microsoft says it's addressed a few small visual issues, including when the taskbar was set to auto hide with the Windows security pop-up credentials fields and with the print dialog. So guys, that's what we can more or less expect to see in our next optional bug fix C release update for Windows 11, 25 and 24H2, currently in the release preview channel. And that's KB5077241 and should be rolling out to the stable channel over the next couple of days. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.